Hi there, my name is Paul, and I want to welcome you to And Breathe Mental Health. So, my work has been born from my lived experience of struggling with general anxiety disorder, depression, social anxiety, and panic attacks. So, it all began back in September 2015. One day I just went to work as normal, sat down at my desk, turned on my computer, everything seemed fine. But as I went to open my emails, I was suddenly hit by this wave of emotion, and all I wanted to do was just burst into tears. That's not something I felt comfortable doing in front of an office of 50 odd people. So I ran off to the toilets, locked myself away. And yeah, I started really falling apart, really is the only way I can describe it. I couldn't breathe. I felt sick. I felt as if I was going to pass out. I managed to phone my wife. I had my phone with me, and she said it sounded like I was having a panic attack. But this was all new ground for me. I had no clue what was going on or how to even stop it. This particular panic attack lasted for about an hour, and it was a start really of a 3-month period where I'd struggled to take control of my mental health. It really began to deteriorate. At the start, it was really only just at work that I was struggling. At home, I was fine. But it did start to deteriorate quite badly, and it culminated in January 2016. I remember the date; it was the 6th of January. I got up to have a shower, as I did every morning, and we had one of those setups. We had the bath with a shower attachment above it, and I literally couldn't lift my leg to get into the bath. All I could do was just go back to bed. That was the day that my life changed forever. I didn't go back to work after that. So as my mental health deteriorated, I really became a lot more worried, a lot quite terrified in a way of what was happening. I had no clue about mental health. I had no clue about panic attacks. I knew that I had been stressed at work. I knew that I was under pressure. I wasn't really enjoying it. But I really didn't expect anything like this to happen. Again, it's something that you possibly, if you do hear about it, it always happens to someone else. I remember having weird thoughts of, doctors having to do brain surgery on me to rewire my brain as though it was like some faulty appliance or something. I mean, I had so much weird and wonderful stuff going through my head. And that included a lot of questions. My GP was brilliant and really helpful, but I didn't feel I was quite getting the information I really needed. I wanted to know what was happening to me. Why was it happening? And most importantly, how could I stop it? So what I decided to do my own research. I began collecting books, reading up on neuroscience, different therapies, and reading up on other people's stories and experiences as well. And once I started learning about things like rewiring the brain, power of habits, learning the language of the amygdala, brain waves, and also how different therapies work, I didn't feel quite so scared and hopeless. It felt like I was getting a bit more of a grip and an understanding of my mental health. Suddenly things started falling into place. I could understand maybe how a therapy could help me, or why my anxiety didn't always make logical sense. So I was able to start actually building a strategy to managing my own mental health. And that's what I want to sort of pass on and then pass on to yourselves. So And Breathe is all about collecting what I've learned over the past few years, putting it into one place. So, you're not just having to trawl through lots of books individually like I had to. I do encourage you to read as much as possible, but this is kind of like a starting place, especially for sort of anxiety and depression. So my aims are really simple. It's to help those who are currently struggling with their mental health, especially anxiety and depression, but also to encourage everyone to take their mental health seriously, okay, and put into place preventative measures, okay. It'll make you more resilient, especially when we're sort of dealing with stressful situations, and the world is increasingly stressful. And most importantly, I just don't want you guys to go through what I've been through. It really does mess with your life. Too often we think we're indestructible, especially when we're young, but it's always until something happens out of the blue, and we wish then that we'd maybe paid more attention. So I'd invite you to have a good look around my website. You'll find the 12 pillars of mental fitness on there, which is a keynote talk. It's based on 12 areas of life that I feel that we should all be aware of and manage on a regular basis in order to improve our mental fitness. It's not sort of where you had to work on them all at the same time, but sometimes you might find one is a little bit more lacking, that you need to improve it just to try and help bring some balance into your life. Okay. I've also turned the talk into a program, which is where we can dive deeper into each of those 12 pillars. And I can show you sort of tips and advice on how to manage each area. You'll also find my blog on there, the And Breathe blog. So this is where I just share my life experiences, some of the neuroscience information I've learned. There's a series on anxiety. There's a series on managing mental health. I share stories on my running exploits, all those sorts of things. So, have a good search around on there. There's also Adventures of an Anxious Mind. This is where I set myself walking and running challenges that basically force me to push myself out of my comfort zone, both physically and mentally. I don't, find doing things socially very easy. So I find having to get out and attend runs and events like that really do push me out of my comfort zone, but they're also actually enjoyable once I get there. I'm a big advocate for getting outdoors. So I want to inspire you to get out in nature, especially. Although you don't have to go and do silly long runs or really long walks, just getting out for a short period of time is beneficial. I take my dog for a walk with my wife every morning, and that can be just as good as going off and running, doing long runs. As well as raising awareness of mental health, I also use my challenges to raise money for Mind, the mental health charity. It's a charity I'm really passionate about and I'm really proud to work with. I've worked with them on a number of projects and campaigns. It's where I get to share my lived experience and help shape the work they're doing. It also really helps with my confidence, building my confidence as well. You'll also find there is a page dedicated to a campaign I'm starting, which is to help encourage the NHS to offer a wider range of primary care treatments for mental health, and to raise parity in line with treatments for physical health as well. It's something I'm really, really passionate about. I don't feel there is enough help and support out there for people who are struggling, especially in the early stages of things like anxiety, depression, things like that. We really need more support and more help out there. So that's it. Just to let you know, I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I'm not a medical professional. Everything I teach in my talks and my program, in my writing, comes from my own lived experience of, and also from reading books. It's all sort of fact-based. I don't make it all up as I go along. So it does all, I try and find sort of evidence-based writings and things to share as well. And at the end of the day, science is science. I can share the facts for you. It's just the same facts that you could read in a book anywhere. So sometimes it just helps if I can relate it to my life. It just helps sort of explain it a little bit easier. So yeah, through my work, I can't promise any miracle cures. There are no quick fixes. What my work is about is helping you make important lifestyle decisions that you can carry with you into the future for the rest of your life. Okay, it doesn't mean you'll be immune to stress either, unfortunately, but you'll have practical tools and knowledge that you can use whenever you need them. Okay, and it's this knowledge and tools that will help you move through stressful situations in the future rather than getting stuck or derailed by them. So as well as personal development, And Breathe is all about spreading awareness of mental health. Okay, there's so many myths and inaccuracies around certain disorders. We're often using terms like anxiety and depression way too lightly, way too offhand. These things and these disorders, mental health disorders, are really, really serious, and they need understanding and exploring properly. Okay, by challenging some of these myths and taboos around mental health, we can actually help create a kinder, more empathetic society. Okay, we can become less judgmental, and we can actually stop and ask, what's really going on for another person. What they're struggling, why are they struggling? Can we help? Can we support? Can we signpost to help them get some support that they need? So one key thing that you'll come away with, hopefully from my work, is also an understanding that we are all very unique. Okay, and this is because our experience is unique. Okay, you'll learn that while we may be all in the same storm, which is life, okay, we're all very much in our own individual boats. Okay, stress, trauma affects us in so many different ways. Okay, mental illness is not about being stronger or weaker than another person. Okay, we are all unique, and that is what's important, and we need to understand. So that's it. That's about And Breathe in a nutshell. As I said, have a good explore around the website. If you're a company, an organization, or even an individual, and your focus is on wanting to improve mental health for yourself, for your colleagues, for your employees, give me a call, drop me a message through the contact me page on my website. Like I said, I can come do a talk, I can do the program. Drop me a line, and hopefully I'll be able to help you. So in the meantime, all the best, and thanks for listening. Take care. Cheers.